Hello again, my beautiful people, Jamaican youth again in the building. And today we are here to talk about the Concacaf Nations League that recently concluded the first round of fixtures, and now we're on to the quarterfinals. And I'm talking about League A that involves the Jamaica Reggae Boys. So we're here to talk about it because now Jamaica has advanced to the quarterfinals and we are going to be playing Canada. Is Jamaica ready to be top four in Concacaf? Is Jamaica ready to be top four in Concacaf? You know, as of now, the top four teams based on the Concacaf index is USA, Mexico, Canada, and anywhere between Panama and Costa Rica. I think Panama jumped up to number 4 in CONCACAF because of they're getting to the final of the CONCACAF Gold Cup. But before that, Costa Rica was number 4 and was seeded as number 4, and as a result they got a bye to the quarterfinals. And now the way it's shaping up for the quarterfinals, Jamaica will be playing Canada, Panama will be playing Costa Rica, the USA will be playing Trinidad and Tobago, and Mexico will be playing Honduras. So some good matches coming up. And of course, those games are going to be home and away. So it's 2 games in the next FIFA window for those games. And then, whosoever win those ties will move on to the Copa America, will qualify for the Copa America, very important, and also move on to the semi-final of the Nations League, which I think will be contested in next year, March, or somewhere there. So I want to talk about it. I want to kind of talk about it with you because there's a lot of things that I notice. I'm going to try and keep this as brief as possible, but there's quite a bit that I notice that I want to talk about. Before I get into it, if you could just hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so as yet. Your subscription definitely helps to grow the channel, and hit the like button as the like helps to send out the video to more eyes so that more people can watch this video. All right, so without further ado, we're gonna get right into it and talk about the CONCACAF Nations League. So Jamaica went through the first round of it. You can see we played Haiti 2 times, Grenada, and who is that other thing? And Honduras. So Honduras, I think, was our first game. We beat Honduras 1-0. We drew with Haiti 2-2. Then we beat Grenada 4-1, and then we beat Haiti 3-2. So we won the group. And in general, I'm a little bit satisfied with how Jamaica played. I think beat the teams that we were supposed to beat, even though we really shouldn't have dropped the points to Haiti. The 2 points that were dropped made it mean that we were not the best placed group topper. We topped the group just like Panama topped the group. I think we were expected to top our group, and Panama was expected to top their group. We were the 2 seeded teams, and that is exactly what happened. Panama ended with 10 points, and we ended with 10 points, but Panama had a superior goal difference, and so that's the reason why they ended up getting Costa Rica. We ended up getting Canada. In general, my thoughts and everything is, just some few things that I noticed before I get to talking about Jamaica versus Canada. But some few things that I noticed is that overall there's an improvement in Jamaica's football. Let's be honest. You saw how Jamaica performed in the Gold Cup, and they made it to the semi-final of the Gold Cup. They lost to the eventual champions, who was Mexico, but it was a good performance in the Gold Cup. We came back in the Nations League now, and there's still a level of consistency. And the reason why I say that there is some improvement is because we see consistent wins, even though, again, we shouldn't have dropped the points against Haiti, but we see some consistent wins. We haven't lost in the Nations League so far. So we see consistent wins. We see consistent players. It's the same players coming back. We don't have a bunch of chopping and changing and trying this player for this window and then trying another player for another window and so on and so forth. We have a good core group, which is what a lot of the fans have been calling for. I think this coach studies his opponent. So he prepares the team to play the opponent that we're getting, as opposed to saying, This is my style. This is what I'm going to stick with. This is what I'm going to do. And come hell or high water, regardless of who come, that's how I go play them. You see me? That's not really how it goes about it. Is who is it that we're going to play? Let's study that team and let's plan a way how to beat that team. So I appreciate that about this coach. And then in general, I noticed there are less hiccups, less player problems. And I say that, even considering the fact that Ronaldo Cephas was left out of the last squad. Come on, how do we do that, JFF? I mean, the baller deserve better than that, bridging. Like, anyway, I don't really want to get into that too much, but Cephas deserve better than that. The man is a JPL baller or play on it garden, do well, move over to North Macedonia, did well, move over to Turkey, still doing well. He's playing good. He's one of our better players, and for some reason, you can't tell me on the one hand that, for Cephas it was too expensive for bring him when you get Demarai Gray from Saudi Arabia. Is Demarai Gray less expensive than Cephas? And if you're going to bring the excuse, say, Cephas was going to only reach on the day before the match. Well, I mean, Mikel Antonio never did play the first match either, but he played the second match, so why couldn't Cephas do that? So anyway, not good on that part. But in general, we don't see as many hiccups anymore. And that's a good thing. That is something that I notice. The press conferences look better. The communication with the public is also better. You have pre-match press conferences, you have post-match press conferences, you have squad announcement press conference. The communication with the public is much better. Is there room for improvement? Of course, there is room for improvement, but it's better. And so these are some of the things that I'm noticing for this Nations League, and I hope it improves, because if you're talking about the press conferences, if they can have a backdrop that shows the sponsorship, just make it look professional. Take a leaf for the Concacaf backdrop, the Concacaf club championships. You notice when half of your Cavalier play and they have to give a press conference, look at that backdrop and see how professionally done that is. That's what we would love to see for the JFF. And I see they're trying. I see they have a little backdrop, that they pull down with just the JFF logo that looks like this on it. But that's not really enough. You need to put your sponsors them on it. But still, in general, the communication is the most important thing. And I like that. I see a big improvement on that. So this is what I mean by Jamaica has improved so far. And they have not only improved in this area, they have improved in the rankings as well. And we hope that we keep climbing up the rankings still. We reach beyond 50, and some of our players can get some more contracts in England. All right, so again, I want to get to the Canada thing quick, but I just want to point out a few more things. The other thing is the midfield issue. We see Daniel Johnson and Karoy Anderson. These are two attacking midfielders that we see the coach bring in. I still am not sure what is Coach Hallgrimson's verdict on Daniel Johnson, because is it that you don't have enough confidence in him? Because we see calling more, attacking midfielders like Casey Palmer. We couldn't use him this time because he was injured, and you call Karoy Anderson. Why is it that you're not using Daniel Johnson? What is the reason? So maybe the coach is not, is not satisfied with Daniel Johnson. But he made a very good pass to Liam Bailey to get the game winner. If it wasn't that goal, it would have been a 2-2 draw against Haiti. So Daniel Johnson, I mean, when he's on the field, he looks good. If we could see more pairing of an attacking midfielder with a defensive midfielder, just kind of like what you did against Haiti, where you had Daniel Johnson and Joel Latibodiere together, instead of having two CDMs or two attacking midfielders. I guess I can say two attacking midfielders if you're playing against a weaker opponent, but if you're playing against an opponent that you think could possibly beat us, then I would think that pairing them with an attacking midfielder to support the strikers and a defensive midfielder to support the defenders would be kind of the way to go. But that's, but I saw that. So the midfield issue, I like how Karoy Anderson looks. I mean, I would have to see a little bit more of him. And also he's young. So he's probably prone to making some mistakes or not being experienced enough at international level or at Concacaf. The Concacaf game is very different from the British or European game. So there can be a little bit of learning curve there. But I like how Karan Anderson looks. You know, the other thing is, some things I noticed, CONCACAF Nations League format is not necessarily the best. I don't really like how them set it up. Start like, you know what I mean? Like, no, up until the last moment, no one was really 100% certain which one of the top two teams that top the group would play the the next would play the bottom two teams, because no one even wanted to go out and predict who was going to play who, because it wasn't very clear. It was either you were ranked, the best ranked group winner would play the lowest ranked team in that got a bye, or was it the best group topper, the team that topped the group their best, meaning they got the most points or they got the most goal difference, that is the team that would play the lowest rank. In this case, Panama just happened to tick both of those boxes. They were the highest ranked top group topper, and they were also they even though they ended on the same 10 points with Jamaica, they also scored more goals than Jamaica. They had a higher goal difference than Jamaica, so they would have gotten that. But you know, it would be nicer if it was clearer CONCACAF, where it's not so, you know what I mean, hairy or fuzzy, nebulous, to be able to determine who goes where. You know what I mean? So I would love if CONCACAF can clean that up. I would also love to see a Nations League like how they do it in Europe, where everybody plays everybody, nobody gets a bye to go anywhere. You know, so even if you're Mexico, you have to come play the opening rounds like everybody else. You know, but anyway, that, you know, the way our CONCACAF has been in the past, that may or may not happen. I don't know. So that's another thing. And then I this is the main talking point I want to talk about. I'll bring that for the last one. We still have fan support issues. That's the next one. We still have fan support issues. I know that throughout the Nations League, the fan support has been generally low at all the grounds that I look at, except for in the Central American teams. So when you see the Hondurases, the El Salvadors, the Guatemalas, they're playing, their stadiums look a little bit more full, and pretty much all the other stadiums were empty. Jamaica had some support though. We did have some support. People did come out and watch, but I would still like to appeal for more, because I remember the days when Stadium did ram for come watch Reggae Boys. You know, when right before 98 World Cup or right after 98 World Cup, almost any time Reggae Boys playing at the Stadium ram. And right now, we are struggling to get it half full, because you have to understand, you know, Stadium all, 35,000 sitting. And I think if you push it, you can get 36,000 in there. You know, 12,000 fans is still not even half of the stadium. But it's better than nothing. We'll take it. But I still want to appeal to the fans to come out. The team is doing well. The coach is doing well. And, you know, I would love to see more fan support for the team. So we want to do that. And then my final point is, which I'm going to spend some time talking about, is Jamaica ready to beat big teams, and in particular, you know, Canada? In our case, are we ready to be top 4 in CONCACAF? No. You know, one could say that if you look at it, we have done enough under this coach to prove that we are at least top 6. But this coach has made it clear that he wants to be top 4 in CONCACAF, and which I think is a good ambition to have. You know, but are we ready for it? Do we have the team for it? And do we have the coaching for it? Do we have the mental space for it? Are we ready for really be top 4? And then I would further want to ask, will this game against Canada, right? Will this game against Canada tell us if the coach or if Jamaica is ready to be top four. And will this game against Canada, this Nations League series, will this tell us if this coach is capable of getting us to top four and keeping us in top four? Has this coach had enough time with this team? He has been in the job for over a year now. Has the coach had enough time with the team for us to say, yes, we have seen enough of this coach. We have seen him in Concacaf Gold Cup. Now I've seen him in Nation League. He has done well, but is the well that he has done good enough to be top four in Concacaf? That is what we really want for discuss. So the thing is, are we ready for Mexico, USA, and Canada? But are we ready in particular for Canada? If you look back at this round of games, our style was more attacking. We could afford to be a little bit more attacking because of the teams that we were playing. We were just clearly better than the teams. Even though we were better than Haiti really gave us some problems. And they didn't only give us problems in game one, they gave us problems in both games. And you have to consider that Haiti didn't even play any of their games at home. They pretty much played 2 away games against us. And the game that we didn't beat them is the game that we played at home. So you really have to ask yourself the question, is playing at home an advantage for Jamaica? And when Canada comes and plays in Jamaica for the first time, will that be an advantage? And this is kind of why I'm appealing for the fan support, because that's the only thing that can give us an advantage over this Canadian team. But if we delve a little bit deeper to talk about Canada, the last time Jamaica beat Canada, right? The last time Jamaica beat Canada was in 2017. We beat them 2-1 in the Concacaf Gold Cup, a goal by Romario Williams and Sean Francis, I think it was. We beat them 2-1. Now, if you look at the lineups of the team in Jamaica, for Jamaica, and the lineup for the team against Canada, and I'll put it up on the screen so that you can see. The last time that we played Jamaica, you will notice that some of the same players that was in that 2017 squad is also a current part of Canada's team. The Alphonso Davis was in that 2017 squad. Samuel Petit, I think his name was, I don't remember if I'm pronouncing correctly. Samuel Petit, he was in that squad. Kyle Larin was in that squad. And Junior Hylett was in that squad. Those are 4 of their top players. As a matter of fact, I think the only main player that's not in that squad is Jonathan David. He's the only major player that wasn't in that 2017 squad. But those 4 players are 4 of their top players. And if you look at Canada's lineup against Japan, the recent friendly that they played, they had Alphonso Davis. They had the A team out. They had Alphonso Davis, they had Kyle Larin, and they had Samuel Petit. Again, I think in that game, Junior Hylett was on the bench, but he ended up coming on. So, the thing is that Canada has changed somewhat in terms of the team that they had in 2017, but their core players, their main players, are still the same. And we were able to beat them at that time with a team that didn't have the type of players that we have now. So should Canada really be that difficult for us to beat? Should we really be that? And this will show us a lot about our development, because if you look at the team that we have now, we have Mikel Antonio, we have Damari Gray, we have Bobby Reid, we have Leon Bailey, we have Andre Blake in goal. We have Ethan Pinnock, we have Amari Bell, we have Damian Lowe. We have all of these players that are high caliber players, high quality players, that really, if you look at Jamaica to Canada, man for man, we have a better quality team. Because a lot of Canada's team, if you look at the team that they started against Japan, that they got 4-1, they got beaten 4-1, like that team is primarily made up of MLS players. The only players, non-MLS players, I think is is Alphonso Davies, who plays for Bayern Munich. I think you have Jonathan David, who plays for Lille. And I don't remember where Kyle Lauren plays, but most of their players are MLS players. Vancouver Whitecaps and Montreal and Toronto. That's most of their players. So, you know, with the caliber of players that we have, with the trajectory of this coach, unfortunately, I am still a little bit nervous about playing Canada because of a recent history. But at the same time, I'm looking at like, man, this in back in the day, this wouldn't really be something I would be worried about. If we were facing Canada, this wouldn't really be a fixture that I was worried about. But now I have to be a little bit worried about it because of our performance in the past. So what do you think? Do you think Jamaica will be able to take down Canada? You really think they will be able to take down Canada? I want to believe so because I believe that we have the better team. But can we execute on the day? Are we ready for top 4 Concacaf football? Are we ready to be top 4? Because I'll tell you this, I would love to see Jamaica out there in March playing in the semifinals of the Nations League. That's what I would like to see. So put your 2 cents in the comment section. Let me hear what you think. Do you think this Jamaican team is ready for top 4 football, top 4 Concacaf football? Or do you think we're just not there yet? Do you think we'll end up beating Canada, qualifying for the Copa America, and also being in the semifinal of the Nations League? Let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. All right, I'm going to leave it right there, everyone. On the way out, please smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. And until next time, take care of yourself. I'm out.